one of the most disappointing teams in the league this season, the Cleveland Browns.
I tried to warn you, Chris Broussard. I tried to warn you, NFL America.
And I tried to warn you about the Chargers. But
Can we talk about this?
I'm just saying.
Are we talking about the Browns or not?
Why you tooting your own horn?
I'm a toot. And this is one that won't be a wowsy woo-woo. Wowsy woo-woo. Because I got it right. Chris, you got to give me a little credit.
I would, but you also picked the Chargers to reach the Super Bowl.
We're not talking about the Chargers.
Didn't you pick the Colts to make the playoffs?
Can you stay on topic?
Did you pick the Colts to make the playoffs
Can you stay on topic?
I'm just saying. So
I'm asking you about
if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't be sticking out my chest.
No, I'm
bragging,
sticking my chest out because
knowing I got these L's next to my name.
Everybody
as well.
in NFL America, they put them on national TV. They weren't even saying the Browns were going to make the playoffs. There was talk about them going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know who said that.
My
I never
goodness.
said the Super Bowl.
Remember we had Jay Crawford on? Jay Crawford, the Cleveland guy, our former partner from the old network.
Yep.
Everybody, they were all in the Browns. Oh, my God, they wanted to cry. Finally, I'm going to see my long downtrodden. You're from Cleveland, Chris. You were born there. You had a cup of coffee and a sweet roll there.
When I was in Cleveland, they were nice. Ernest Biner.
Until he fumbled.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they were a factor. You know, at least they were a factor in the playoffs against Denver and losing to John Elway.
But you got to admit, they were the talk of the NFL.
They were. I mean, look, I think it's only a few people thought they might go to the Super Bowl, but most people seem to think they would make the playoffs. And maybe the worst thing, Rob, was that they themselves, they didn't only think they were making the playoffs. They thought they were about to run roughshod over the rest of the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. I'm all right with being in Cleveland because we're going to win.
Exactly.
Demarius Randall. It's going to be so bad they're going to think we're cheating.
That's how good their team was. And then they said, oh, yeah. And we also got Kareem Hunt's coming back. You know, all this. We're loaded. Look at this team. Remember?
It was a mess.
And the networks couldn't wait to put them on national television. Oh, let's load up on Browns. They wanted a second, third, fourth helping of Brown because they thought the Browns were going to be all about the new hotness in the NFL. I never bought into Kitchens, who had never been a head coach. I also said they had so many personalities. And last year, people could say I was hating on Baker Mayfield. Never bought in, Chris. Never bought into the 7 wins a year ago. They only beat one team over 500 last year when they were piling up those numbers. And they beat Baltimore 12-9 when Joe Flacco lost his job. That's it. They didn't beat anybody. And I wasn't buying it because they didn't show me that they could beat good teams.
They should have been good. They should have been good. But this weekend, we saw why they're not. In a loss to the Arizona Cardinals of the rookie quarterback and the rookie coach, we saw where they're not. And Michael Silver, great reporter for the NFL Network, he tweeted this, Rob Parker. I'm told by 2 sources that before the game ended, multiple Browns players yelled at the Arizona sideline to, quote, come get me.
Wow.
Asking to come play for the Cardinals. Landry, as in Jarvis Landry, I'm told, was one of them.
Wait a minute, Jarvis Landry, doesn't he have his college coach there, right? As wide receiver coach. He's got his best friend, Odell. They played together, right? LSU, Chris. They're buds. This is going to be a party. This is unbelievable.
Here's what I have to say about this, Rob. I have 2 strong points to make. Number 1, if this is true, this is a sign of how I don't even want to say bad personality because I don't dislike Odell Beckham Jr.'s personality. I actually like it. But how we know wherever he's been, we're in New York, even though, he had all types of incidents, he clearly was beloved by his teammates. You never heard anyone, and he's pointed out this many times, you never heard any teammates say he's a bad teammate.
Right.
You never heard any teammates complain about him. Okay? And then here in Cleveland, it's the same thing. Watchgate, Visorgate, Cleatgate, Tradegate. You never hear any teammates come out against him because obviously they all like Odell. But here's the thing. Instead of using that leadership to point them in the right direction, he has used it to point them in the wrong direction. And they like him so much that now, because a week or two ago it was reported that he had said, come get me, that he wanted out of Cleveland. They like him so much, they look up to him so much, they think he's so cool that now reportedly several other players, instead of checking him and being like, look, dude, we need you to be all in, they're following him. They're following him, and now they want out. Now they're saying, come get me. Now they don't think Freddie Kitchens knows what he's doing. And he doesn't, but still. So that's number one. The negative impact, unfortunately, that OBJ, and I think he's, like I said, I don't dislike him. Most of his stuff is in fun, and it's just harmless. It's not harmless, but, Watchgate, it's not the worst thing in the world.
He ain't hurt nobody, right?
No, but it just shows that the focus is not right. And now these guys are following him to the point that they said the exact same thing that was reported. Come get me. Come get me. And secondly, they are not taking responsibility for themselves. Freddie Kitchens appears overmatched. Okay. Didn't do a great job with him. We know that. He deserves a lot of the blame for this season going south.
And Chris,
and probably will be fired.
And you know this. Everybody's not a head coach. It's just that's just the way it is.
But here's the thing. All that may be true. But you also, as a player, have to look in the mirror. You can't just blame it on the coach. Sure, he has a lot to do with it. But you also have to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I dropped some balls this year. I blew some coverages. We lost our cool, and one of our best players, Myles Garrett, is out for the rest of the season. We're the ones talk trash. We had the same coach when we were talking trash. We were talking about how it's going to be a video game and how they're going to think we cheated and how we're going to win this year.
Right.
So you know football, and you can see, okay, Freddie Kitchens is overmatched. But you also have to look in the mirror and say, we didn't get it done either. And when I hear players saying, come get me, then that tells me you're blaming it all on the organization, all on the coaching staff, and not taking your just blame either. And that's why this team is a severe disappointment this season.
No doubt. A lot of people bought in, thought it was all going to come together very quickly. I just thought it would take time. I wasn't sure there was enough football to go around, Chris. And OBJ, I think what was the old commercial about sticker shock when you look at the car, the brand new car you want to buy? I think at first he was like, okay, when he got traded away from New York, and if he's going to go to Cleveland is cool, Chris, if you're winning football and he's catching footballs and he's getting touchdowns. Right. Yes. Then it's fine.
You're all pro,
Yes, all that. But when you're not and you're in Cleveland, for that type of guy who's a big city, bright lights, look at me kind of personality, it ain't that cool to be in Cleveland. I'm feeling more and more like he won't be there next year. That's just my gut.
If you were running the Browns, let's say that you're John Dorsey, would you trade him?
I'd have to get something for him, but I would be up for it because he
would you be shopping him? Let's say, would you start making calls?
I'd try to make some calls to say maybe two big type receivers really doesn't work, or maybe this one didn't work because Landry already had a relationship or rapport, chemistry, if you will, Chris, with Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean?
He was upset yesterday. He wasn't getting the ball either.
Right.
And he hadn't had a great year either.
It's amazing that you have all these weapons, and I don't know. What are the numbers with Hunt since he come back? Has he been?
I mean, he hadn't made. Look, Chubb is okay.
One
Chubb
of the
is
best
a stud. Running backs in the league.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
I'm chubby, but he's a stud.
I don't know that I'd be making calls, but I would only trade him. And I've said this before. I would only trade him if I got a haul in return. Him being OBJ, because if they don't change the coaching staff, then they're crazy. I think they're going to get a new coach, and I would want to get a coach and a staff that I knew could maximize a great receiver or a great receiving core and a quarterback.
I'll say this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if they can't do it, then I got to move somebody. But I would want to give them that shot before I just traded him.
I understand that, but I'll say this to you. I bet you there are more people in NFL America out there, Chris, who are happy that the Browns didn't make the playoffs and got eliminated. Would you agree? Like they could have been. They could have been the new hotness.
They love to hate on the land.
No, but that's
where this stems from. They love to hate. They love to hate LeBron.
They were supposed to be.
They love to hate Baker.
Yes, sir, Brownies.
You're Detroit. You're a rival. Of course, you haven't gotten over LeBron running through your Pistons.
Stop.
I don't know that you're the objective guy to be saying this.
I'm telling you, NFL America is dancing in the streets. They were yesterday, knowing that the loudmouth Cleveland Browns and all the people, they reverted. They reverted to the Cleveland Clowns. That's where they are. It was a circus. And it wasn't pretty. And you know what, Chris? The fat lady did sing yesterday because they did not live up to the billing. They weren't the guys that everybody thought they were. I loved every minute of it. I tried to warn you, NFL America, stop jumping on these fads and stir and add water teams that you're supposed to add these pieces and everything was supposed to just turn out and they were supposed to.
Cleveland!
I'm just telling you about Cleveland. Cleveland is back where it belongs.
Stop it.
Back where it belongs.
Why are you hating on the land?
Because that team was never going to win anything, and I'm glad that they lived up to the real
Watch out.
Juice.
You know what, Mark? Hey, this is a microwave take.
No.
Mark this. What is it, December 16th, 2019. Mark my words. Watch out for the Browns next season.
Chris, you picked them to make the playoffs this year.
I'm telling. I'm
saying, supposed to respect this?
They will be dangerous. That's all I'm saying.
Eventually, you'll be right because at some point.
Look who's talking.
No,
Mister, I'm going to Mexico.
Let's do a microwave take at the start of the season when I gave you.
When you predicted the Chargers Super Bowl?
When I told you the Browns
are going to the Super Bowl.
I told you the Browns weren't making the playoffs,
and you told me the Chargers were.
Go Chargers!
And the Colts. The Colts who played
told you the Raiders.
The Colts who about to get the brakes beat off of them.
Yeah, right.
Tonight by the Saints. You predicted them too.
I told you about that the Ravens were going to win the division. We could go on and on. If we could get our
you're going to point out all your
I only missed one. I only missed two.
I only missed two.
I only missed two. That's it.
Then you had the Rams in the playoffs?
Are they eliminated?
You can't be believed.
Are they eliminated?
Just off the top of my head.
Are they eliminated?
Are they going to make the playoffs?
Are they eliminated?
Did you see what my boy Dak Did you see what my boy Dak did to them?
Did you see what the report was that Dak Prescott threw to open receivers all night? There weren't a guy with between 5 and 10 yards of the.
What's that
they
say
were
about
wide open.
What's that say about your?
That ain't have nothing to do with it.
What's that say about your playoff pick? Thank you.
I'm still.
I only got one. I only got two. I only got three. Don't let me start digging. You probably got a 4
I just gave you all of yours. You were sticking out your chest. I was born in Cleveland. You wanted to make.
I wasn't born.
You wanted to claim Cleveland.
I was born in Cleveland.
You were all happy. The Browns are relevant. I'm just so happy that they're relevant.
They are relevant.
They're irrelevant today.
No, they're
irrelevant
for the wrong reasons, but they're relevant.
Irrelevant.
They're more relevant than your Chargers. You know that. Just because you get
that's
5
Arnold
minutes on the
Schwarzenegger's
pregame show.
show.
Just because you get 30 seconds on the pregame show.
What do you mean 30
of
seconds?
Of 4 Chargers games a year, you going to pick them to make the Super Bowl?
Wow. I do a 2-hour pregame show. I want you to know on the Chargers radio network.
I only listen to 30 seconds
All
of
right.
it.
Go Chargers.
All right, y'all. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. Your turn to weigh in. Has OBJ had a negative influence on his Browns teammates? And what, if anything, can they do to change the
and
culture
are you happy that the
in
Browns
the
are out?
land? Yeah, and we'll throw in Rob's question. Are you happy that they got their comeuppance?
Yes.
Your turn to weigh in.
Brownies.
Let's start with Jerry in Nashville. In Nashville, you're on the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio.
Yo, fellas, what's going on? How y'all doing?
What's up,
Great.
man?
All right. Hey, so I got 2 things here. First of all, OBJ is just straight. He's just horrible, man. I mean, I wouldn't touch him in fantasy. I wouldn't touch him in real life. They need to jettison him up out of Cleveland. I'm sorry, Chris Broussard, but then Cleveland, they back to looking like some bums. Okay? They did all that talking.
Do you agree that his talking about to other teams, come get me, has rubbed off on the rest of these guys, and that's why they did it this weekend?
Dude, I mean, we've all played sports, whether amateur sports or whatever. Once another team feels like you don't really want to be a part of this, like you ain't in this for the long haul, then that stuff spreads around like a cancer. Them cats, they know he don't really want to be there. So guess what? Freddie Kitchens is down there looking like a clown. You can look at him on the sidelines. He don't know what's going on himself. You know what I'm saying? He can't figure it out. They need to try to see what they can recruit something back for OBJ. Second of all, hey, you didn't pick my Rams. My Rams got blowed out yesterday, and I understand
I told you. I told you,
Oh,
man,
here we go.
Rob.
Here we go.
I told
Oh,
you
God.
and the millions of listeners
stop.
plus Rob Parker,
Stop
the
it.
Rams would not make the playoffs. Did I not, Rob?
But they
Did I not?
weren't
That was
eliminated.
that
They
was a
haven't been
tougher-
eliminated.
That was a tougher prediction than you saying the hapless Browns. Hey, anybody could have said the Browns
You
weren't
are
making the
something else,
playoffs.
Chris.
Go
You are-
out on a limb like me.
You are something else. And for the record, I think Jerry just said that OBJ was a Cancer, but no, he's a Capricorn. He was born in January.
Just stop it. You should have left that one in
right.
your bag.
Sean in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
What's up to my uncles from another mother? Rob, I haven't been able to talk to you since you got back from Antarctica, my G, man. Welcome back, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks, Sean. It was great.
He still has icicles
Oh,
coming
look
from
at
his
that.
forehead.
And you know what? Y'all talk about ain't no black people ever go to Antarctica. The very first person ever to step foot on Antarctica, a black man,
Yep.
man. Just so
Is that true?
y'all know. But
What was his name?
I don't know what his name
I
is, but he
knew
was.
Russia or Alaska, one of those.
Rob
Matthew
Parker.
Henson or
Oh,
something.
no.
Rob Parker.
No, go ahead.
But go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean.
My point is, I think that the Cleveland Browns' downfall this year, you got to look at what's continued from last year, man. Baker Mayfield and John Dorsey. Baker Mayfield was empowered by his general manager to pick his own coach, dang near go out there and run his own mouth and put all these checks out there that they can't cash this year, and the media ate it all up. So when you were looking at all these players that don't work and all these pieces don't fit, look who's putting them together, man. John Dorsey reached for the stars and fell flat on his face.
Yep, good point.
That's it. That is real talk. No question.
877-99 on Fox is the number. Tony in D.C., you're next up on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tony?
What's up, fellas? Nice to talk to y'all again.
No doubt.
What's happening, man?
Hey, my man. Hey, first off, Rob G, don't let Broussard talk about your Raiders like that. Put them in his
They're
place
a
and
joke.
Talk about Red Right 88.
They're a
Anyway.
disgrace.
Anyway, I think
They
problem
haven't
is,
been good since the league outlaws stick 'em.
Wow.
Actually, they have, but
Wow.
Well, my thing is this: Rob Parker. Kevin Durant drives that Massault car.
Yes.
Well, he has a passenger in there in Baker Mayfield. 'Cause
Really?
if he's a Massault. Baker Mayfield's in the passenger seat. This guy beats with everybody that says anything against him in a positive, constructive way. He gets all in his feelings. And if he focuses on the game, the way he focuses on all these outside beefs, he might be a better player. The thing with OBJ is, yeah, he's going to get you stats and everything, but is almost empty because his teams don't go anywhere.
Hey, thanks
That's
for
a
the call.
good little. That's
His
actually
one
not
playoff
bad.
His one playoff game, he had, 2 or 3 drops. So he's just not worth the headache.
Appreciate
That's not
it.
a bad comparison because KD and Baker will go back at everybody.
Right, they're bothered
in the
by
media,
everybody.
right.
Chris, let's squeeze in this real quick.
But quickly, Rob, Matthew Henson, African-American explorer, was the first person to set foot on the North Pole.
North
so not
Pole.
the South Pole.
Yeah, that's a
but
difference.
the North Pole.
All right, Ennis in New York. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. Make it quick, Ennis, please.
All right, I'll make it quick. Baker Mayfield's not an adult. He's a child. He tries to go back at everyone, and he talks too much. The coach isn't a leader of men. And Chris Broussard's always repping like 30 different cities. And
I
you
mean,
know,
I moved
He is.
And you know
Always.
what? And Cleveland, they invented the toothbrush in Cleveland. Anywhere else, it would have been called a teeth brush. That's the city you rep.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, you know the city I'm repping?
Wow.
The city that's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's who. The city, the area that produced arguably the greatest basketball player ever. The area that produced
It's called the mistake by the lake.
The best football
Stop it.
player of all time.
Please,
Jim
stop
Brown.
it.
That's who I'm repping.
New York is so nice
Bone
they named it
Thugs-
twice.
Bone Thugs in Harmony.
Stop it.
That's who I'm repping. Machine Gun Kelly, baby.
Please.
Halle Berry. Before y'all start getting on the land, don't make me start flexing. You hear that, Rob Parker? Silence.
I don't
Got
have
nothing
to.
say.
We know what? We don't have all day to talk about all the people from New York, so I'll just let you name your 4 people because that's all y'all got.
Mike Vrabel.
Stop it.
Antoine
Stop.
Winfield.
Stop.